You just have to put your head down and keep going. You put in the work, you're executing the plan, but you might not see immediate results. That doesn't mean the plan's failing. It just means the work is not done yet. Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My experience and expertise is in scaling all types of medical businesses to 7, 8, and 9 figures. And I'm sharing my journey to having multiple 8-figure companies and someday, hopefully, enjoying a 9-figure exit. This isn't a podcast telling you you should do this. I'm just telling you how I did this, and I hope that helps you. I want to help you build your business, take ownership of your life, and become a better leader at home and at work. And guys, I'd love to connect with you, especially if you're a medical entrepreneur. I have free courses available to help you scale your medical business. Check those out at dralexspinoso.com/courses. That is dralexspinoso.com/courses. I also invite you to connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Alex Spinoso, LinkedIn at the same, and every other platform, YouTube, etc. I am always Dr. Alex Spinoso. Thanks for listening. Well, today, guys, we're talking ancient myths for entrepreneurs and overachievers yet again. And today, we're diving into the Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice. And it's one of those myths that hits hard with a message about trust, about focus, and why you've got to stick to the damn process. So, let's get into it. Here's the story in a nutshell. Orpheus was this legendary musician, so talented that his music could charm literally anything, even rocks and rivers. And one day, he fell madly in love with a woman named Eurydice. They were happy, totally in love. But as luck would have it, tragedy struck. Eurydice was bitten by a poisonous snake and died. Man, that sucks, right? She dies and she's taken to the Underworld. That's where people go when their time is up. No exceptions, no coming back. But Orpheus, he ain't having it. He's not going to give up on her. So he decides to go to the Underworld to get her back. He goes all the way down there and charms the 3-headed guard dog Cerberus with his music. He plays his lyre so beautifully that even Hades, the king of the Underworld, is moved by it. I mean, this dude has some serious talent. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, Hades agrees to let Eurydice follow Orpheus back to the land of the living under one condition. Orpheus can't look back at her until they've left the Underworld completely. If he turns around, he loses her forever. So Orpheus starts walking. Eurydice is behind him, and he's going through the dark, trying to keep it together, but he's stressed, right? He's thinking, is she actually there? Did Hades trick me? Did I make it all the way down here for absolutely nothing? But he tries to listen, but he doesn't hear anything. She's totally silent. And that makes him even more anxious. So just about the moment he is going to step into the light, he doubts. He turns around, and in that moment, Eurydice is gone, pulled back into the Underworld forever. And in the original Greek language, Orpheus says, "Fuck!" Or, something like that. So now maybe you're wondering how this ties into business. Well, a lot. This myth is packed with a lesson about trusting the process, staying focused, and not looking back until the journey is done. Lesson 1, don't lose focus on the finish line. Orpheus had one job: get out of the underworld without looking back. But he let doubt and impatience derail him. He was so close to making it, but he lost focus at the worst possible moment. In business, We all face those moments where we're close to hitting a goal, close to finishing a project, and we start questioning ourselves. Maybe it's because things aren't moving as fast as we want them to. Maybe it's because we don't see the results we expect, or we're afraid the plan isn't going to work out. So, what do? Well, we start to second guess, doubt, and look backward instead of pushing through to the end. When you're chasing a big goal, whether it's building a 7-figure business, creating a brand, launching a product, or even becoming a better athlete, there's going to be a point where you just have to put your head down and keep going. You put in the work, you're executing the plan, but you might not see immediate results. That doesn't mean the plan's failing. It just means the work is not done yet. Orpheus lost Eurydice because he didn't trust the process. He didn't trust that what he was doing was enough. And that cost him everything. For us, the lesson is to keep our heads in the game and push forward, even when things aren't happening as quickly as we want. Lesson number 2, trust the process and your plan. Orpheus had a plan. Get Eurydice out of the underworld by doing exactly what Hades said. But he didn't trust it. And let's be honest, how many times have you been in the middle of working towards something and thought, is this going to actually work? Well, we're all guilty of this. Maybe you've put hours, days, months into something and it feels like nothing is happening. Orpheus's journey through the underworld is just like those stages in business where we have to walk through the uncertainty, through the darkness, and trust that if we follow the process, if we stick to the plan, we're going to come out on the other side victorious. Trusting the process means letting go of that urge to look back, to obsessively check and recheck everything along the way. It means believing in the work you've already put in. Now, I'm not saying ignore warning signs or never adapt. Flexibility is important for sure. But there is a massive difference between adapting to improve and undermining your plan because of self-doubt. If you want a real-world example, look at every successful entrepreneur who's ever been in the game long enough to build something big. They didn't get there by checking their progress every 5 seconds. They trusted their plan, they trusted their team, and they trusted themselves. I do think that it's interesting that Nick Saban, the greatest football coach in modern history, maybe all time, I might argue that, regularly and relentlessly referred to the process. In other words, his plan, his scheme, which he executed to the letter, every game, every practice, every play, every single moment was a process. And what was the result? 7 national championships. So next time you're doubting, remember that turning back means you're pulling yourself off track. Instead, keep moving forward. Lesson number 3, success means moving forward, not looking back. The story of Orpheus and Eurydice also teaches us that the way forward is the only way to succeed. In business, looking back too soon can mean getting distracted by past mistakes, second guessing every step, or wasting time rehashing things that are already behind you. Once you've set your direction, stay focused. Orpheus's mistake wasn't just that he looked back. It was that he let his past fears get in the way of his future success. He was almost out of the underworld. He'd almost reached the light. But he let his fear win. When you're building something great, the past can be a powerful teacher, but it can also be a distraction. There's a time to analyze, a time to improve, then there's a time to simply keep moving forward. Too many people look back right when they're on the edge of success because they're afraid of what's coming next. Don't let your doubts pull you back. Embrace the journey ahead and don't turn around until you're fully in the light of your goals. So here's the deal. Here's the final takeaway. If you're out there building something big, don't look back until you're at the finish line. Don't let impatience or doubt pull you off course. Trust the process, follow your plan, and keep your eyes forward. That's how real success is built. Orpheus had the talent, the passion, and the drive, but in that critical moment, he didn't trust the journey he was on, and it cost him everything. Don't make that mistake. You're on this path for a reason, so keep going, stay focused, and don't look back until you're all the way out of the underworld, standing in the light.